Hi, for Delisa Gumahop again, and this is the addition of the discussion of Group 3. So, a financial decision. A financial decision which is concerned with the amount of finance to be raised from various long-term sources of funds like equity shares, preference shares, debentures, bank loans, and etc. So it is called financing decision. In other words, it is a decision on the capital structures of the company. And for the investment, it is a decision made by investor and investment managers. Investors commonly perform investment analysis by making use of fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and gut feel. So investment decisions are often supported by decision tools. And for the definition of money, it is a commodity accepted by general consent as a medium of economic exchange. So it is the medium in which prices and values are expressed. So it circulates from a person to person, country to country, facilitating trade, and it is the principal measure of wealth. And for the broader definition of money, for the M2 and M3, so M2 include all the items in M1. So plus deposit redeemable at notice of up to 3 months and deposit with an agreed maturity of up to 2 years. For the M3 include all the items in F2 plus purchase agreement, money market fund, shares, money market paper, and debt securities issued with a maturity of fewer than 2 years. And for the money-weighted rate of return, MWRR is a measure of the performance of an investment. The MWRR is called by finding the rate of return that will set the present values of all cash flows equal to the value of the initial investment. So the MWRR is equivalent to the internal rate of return, IRR. So for the inflation and deflation, our inflation is an increase in the general prices of goods and services in an economy. So deflation is conversely the general decline in prices for goods and services indicated by an inflation rate that flows below 0%. And for the disadvantage of the inflation, high inflation rates tend to cause uncertainty and confusion, leading to less investment. So it is argued that countries with persistently higher inflation tend to have lower rates of investment in economic growth. So for the deflation, or the problem with deflation is that often it can contribute to lower economic growth. This is because deflation increases the real value of debts and therefore reducing the spending power of firms and consumers. So also failing prices can discourage spending as consumers delay their purchases. For the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model, the ADAS or aggregate demands, aggregate supply model is a macroeconomic model that explains price level and output through the relations of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. It is based on the theory of John Maynard Keynes presented in his work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. And for the framework, the AD&AS, it is the model is a way of illustrating national income determination and changes in the price level. We can use this to illustrate phases of the business cycle and how different events can lead to the changes in two of our key macroeconomic indicators and inflation. So the aggregate demand curve, like most typical demand curves, slopes downward from